but hopefully Curitiba should suit our car.
Well, one driver won't be racing this weekend, and that's Roberto Colciago after a high-speed impact with new boy Michel Jourdain of Mexico. Jourdain's car has been repaired and he will race, but Colciago was physically battered a bit and he is not on the grid here. Seat's trying to desperately use some of their great acceleration to overhaul the front runners. Jörg Müller on the left-hand side of the picture with the green highlights. Augusto Farfus into the first corner for the first time of 14, and here comes Prio up the inside, trying to split the two Schnitzer cars. He gets into second ahead of Farfus, and three abreast behind. Somebody's off on the outside. There's a Seat, and that is Pierre-Yves Courtals. Two Chevrolets are off. That's Stefano D'Aste, I think, car number 30. Luca Rangoni. So the top two independents are off. One of the Alfa Romeos, that's Olivier Tielemans, is out of the race. The other Alfa as well, James Thompson. There's been a collision between those. Jörg Müller leads and is apparently second and third, as the graphics can't quite hang on to it, but it's Prio second, Farfus third, David 3 and 4 abreast. We really don't see into a first corner from a standing start, and that was the potential there for disaster.
It was certainly a big mass of people, more than ever, going into that first corner, all at full speed, much quicker into the first corner than would it be a standing start, and eventually something had to give, and it gave in the middle of the pack, towards the end of the pack. Nicola Larini, that's him out in one of the Chevrolets, and Thompson with an Alfa Romeo. We've seen the Alfa Romeo. This is number 30, Rangoni, with his BMW here. They're coming together, we think, with Thompson with the Alfa Romeo, and that was the end of his race. But we hear there's a safety car. Yeah, that's the sign, safety car out. So that car that pulled off into the pits was straight through it out the other side, and obviously trying not to run anybody over in the meantime, and back out there. The flag is being waved, the boards are out, the big board that says SC on it for safety car. You'll see a black car shortly somewhere just round this first corner. It'll come back into sight.
Well, David, it's exactly what the organisers wanted, to try and avoid too much carnage in the first corner, but you can see here the stripe down the middle of the road. That's somebody trying to drag a car with a very flat tyre. Let's look at it from behind and just see cars bouncing in the air. One Chevrolet gets into Courtals, and behind is the Vickers Sport BMW. He just gets back on. Let's see down the inside.
That Chevy was touched by
Ivan
12, Ivan Müller.
Nicola Larini.
That's what set the whole thing off.
Menu escaped just on the outside. He actually got clipped by Courtals, as Courtals has been pushed offline. Thompson here gets a thump from don't know who, but again, as you see the reverse angle, it's just from about 7th or 8th place back. It's touching, and some of the touches were not that light.
I think Thompson unfortunately got into the back of Larini because he had nowhere else to go at the time. But in a separate incident, the other Chevrolet and Rangoni went off on the inside. We're not sure how they had it coming together. Probably a legacy of the same thing. There's the black tyre mark we've seen. That was the reason it was caused.
Oh, on board with Nicola Larini. That is Tom Coronel right in front. Larini has been hit here and is being spun round. Wait for the impact. He did get into the side of Alain Menu, so Alain Menu's right rear tyre might be questionable. There is Nicola Larini's car. So we have lost probably half a dozen cars from the field already. Well, not much you can say, Menu. That's him off at the side of the field, so we'll cross another one. We now have just Rob Huff going for Chevrolet. Pierre-Yves Courtals is out, Larini's out, Menu is out, Rangoni is out, Thompson is out, Tielemans is out. Who else did we lose? That's 6 of 8 cars from row 6 down to row 9. That was where it all happened.
Not such a good qualifying. Nicola Larini, bit of a problem with the handling of the car. Didn't quite get a handle on that. They felt that they got that sorted in qualifying, ready for the race itself, but unfortunately been taken out on the first corner. They've got no idea. This the spinner,
Sergio Hernandez, after just making up a place, he's given away 2. So Emmett O'Brien, did he avoid that? Yes, he did. He got through. So did Pierre-Yves Courtals and Michel Jourdain, and also the Vickers Sport BMW as well.
Said that if he stays in 7th place, he will start on the front row at the next race.
Oh, so somebody's gone off somewhere. It was Felix Porchero. Well, there goes pole position for race 2. Yes, you're right, David. I was just about to ask, with 4 laps to go, at what stage does Zanardi decide to stop pushing for a place on Coronel? And Porchero just picked that one up too late, just losing it across Ivan Muller's nose. Ivan Muller now 8th anyway, and that would give him pole position for race 2.
That's right, and I think that'll be very good for Seat. They're having a very poor weekend. They've got Tarquini as a works driver up there, got Tom Cornell in 6th place also, but there's all on his own. You can see him coming into the corner just a little bit too quick, locked it all up, and round it went.
The line this lap, and I think it might even be a little closer next time round, but time is running out for Andy Priaulx. I don't think he's going to catch him. Emmett O'Brien has a big loss of control. He slides across the grass and drops out of 10th place. Pierre-Yves Courtals has won that battle. They were knocking the paint off each other, so I'm not sure how that started, but the Belgian moves up anyway.
But they were also fighting for first in the independence class. That was the battle, and Emmett O'Brien was in front. Now he's not. Now he's way behind. He's lost 3 places in that battle for the Independence Championship.
Now then, Jörg Müller after lap 14, leading by 0.6 from Andy Priaulx. We're on lap 15, and the battles don't end there. Emmett O'Brien went off on his own, so certainly no miscreancy there from Pierre-Yves Courtals. He had his mirrors full of Michel Jourdain. But behind this, in fact, Farfus suggests that maybe the front-wheel drive cars would not be at a disadvantage because it's very low grip, this front straight, and it seems to be the case. Look at Zanardi. He's trying to fight off Rob Huff, and he can't. Oh, and another first corner collision. Huff got hooked up around the nose of Zanardi's car, and what was nearly second place has ended in a left front puncture, and he's at the back of the field. There goes James Thompson's Alfa Romeo. He's already picked up half a dozen positions, so it's Ivan Muller that leads. Second place already is Augusto Farfus. He was just how busy it was, but great starting by Farfus. So intent on watching the run into the first corner by the leaders, didn't see how he found that hole, but here's a replay. He was right behind the battle for second already into the braking area. Huff goes around the outside, tries to find a little bit of room, and his left rear hits the right front of Zanardi, and well, Huff goes around. Zanardi just about continued. Huff came a little bit to his left, perhaps to give himself a touch more turning space, David, and that's where the contact came in.
It was almost identical to the what happened in the first race. 2 cars into the first corner, one up the inside, 2 of them touched, one got spun round in front of the other one, but this time there was nobody else at the front for them to hit, and he was just out there on his own.
Well, Ivan Muller was well ahead. He was sweeping way out to the driver's left to stay on line. Battle here, that's and his steering is probably all whacked out of line, and it's not turning in the way that it should do. Now he may be able to adapt as Emmett O'Brien gets tagged round by I think Sergio Hernandez, and that's his race over in the gravel probably. Ivan Muller still changed behind Coronel as we watch Priaulx again defending from Jörg Müller. Luca Rangoni there, the white and blue Pro Team BMW's just past Pierre-Yves Courtals, and there's Tomo. And is that Rob Huff? I bet it was Rob Huff he was battling with, and he hangs on. No, I think it was Larini, yeah, Larini. Just in front of Nicola Larini. Now skating across the gravel. If he'd done that in qualifying like Ivan Muller had, he would have been penalised. But in racing, surely nobody's going to penalise you for having a go. James Thompson hangs on, but look at the front of that Alfa Romeo. That's had a lot of work.
He did a lot of hanging on there, because he went off with a lot of opposite lock-on, through a gravel trap, kept a foot hard into it, brought it out the other side, still in front of the Chevrolet that touched him on the way into the corner.
That's what comes to having a dad who's a rally driver. Piggy Thompson, his dad, very well-known English rally driver, and James has had a few rallies in the past, but probably not in such an unsuitable car for the Lucas, the Alfa Romeo is. But yeah, he hung on, just got the angle right, off the brakes when the wheels were pointing in the right direction to stop the slide, and just let it bounce through and hopefully survive the gravel trap. And Larini, of course, was braking a little bit deeper to try and avoid the accident that actually never came his way. So Farfus leads.
Slipstreamed up behind, pulled out, went past, braked, and that was the job done. And you've seen both of them do exactly the same thing to the other 2 Seat drivers. And here we've got another coming together for the... Oh, they didn't like that. Had a real big coming together with Rangoni.
With that's in fact Sergio Hernandez, the ex-Formula 3000 and GP2 driver. So Sergio Hernandez, who last year was racing Lewis Hamilton in GP2.